What's up, everybody? So, today I bring you some troubling news about the attack on Mother Base and who essentially was behind it. And now I know, Zoff, Skullface, yeah, but they had to have a man on the inside. Who was that man? Huey Emmerich. Now I know what you're thinking. No way. Huey? Betray? Big Boss? I thought their relationship was set up to kind of mirror Otacon and Solid Snake. Bros for life. Mad brosness. All that stuff. But, nope. Upon close research, I can pretty much say, usually I'm very, kind of back and forth with my theories. I'm like, yeah, it could go this way or could go that way. And, there is a certain give here, but I'm pretty definitely sure that, Huey betrayed Big Boss and essentially everybody at Mother Base, screwed him over. And there's pretty solid evidence to push it, and I'm going to go over it with you guys, and I'm going to show you some stuff and tell you about it, and then you can pretty much tell for yourself what I'm talking about. Anyway, the first key, probably most important evidence is in your mission briefings, cassette tapes, I think, and it's pretty much the first and second tapes really kind of sum it up. About the first two tapes are kind of fishy, kind of make you go, what's going on? And I'm going to play those for you right now.
Snake, yesterday we received official communication from the IAEA. It says, it has come to our attention that your organization recently purchased nuclear fuel from Uzbekistan authorities. We request permission to inspect your facilities.
What a load of bullshit.
Yeah, they're after Metal Gear Zeke's nuclear warhead. I'm betting this is payback from Cypher after Paz's leak.
Using the UN.
There's no telling how much influence they have. But the IAEA can only do inspections in countries that are party to the NPT.
And we're not a country.
Exactly. We haven't signed a safeguards agreement with the IAEA over peaceful nuclear use, and we're not obligated to report any nuclear material we have, nor information about any nuclear facilities. The IAEA has no authority to inspect us.
But despite all that
nuke's our last line of defense. We don't want to announce we have it until the world is preparing to wipe us off the map. Until then, we let everyone think we're just a private army with conventional firepower.
What's Huey's take?
That the problem's how to hide the nuke in Metal Gear. But I gotta tell you, he was all for it.
I see. But there's no way we can have the IAEA poking around here.
So what do we do? Ignore them?
Send them an official letter of refusal. Say that we're a private organization and we've done nothing to attract this suspicion.
You got it.
We finished Zeke's waterproofing reinforcement yesterday. The day after tomorrow, we'll be done installing the main depth control tank, the compressed air tank, and the attitude control propeller pod.
Huey.
If the underwater test goes well, next week we'll try the 300-foot seabed depth.
Drop the act, Huey. How did we end up agreeing to the nuclear inspection?
Because after you sent that letter, I told them. After careful reconsideration, we agree to your request. And frankly, we should be inspected. This is our chance. If they come and go without discovering the nuke, we can tell the world we're clean. Of course, it's risky, and we'll have to make sure everything's perfect, but it'll be worth it.
Huey, can they do an inspection without going through the Board of Governors?
We contacted the IAEA's admin branch, and they said there's no record of us being brought up at any of the board's meetings.
I'd say probably a preliminary inspection to determine whether we should be referred to the board. So it's bound to be a small inspection team, and they won't be here that long. Don't worry, leave everything to me.
Has the media gotten wind of this?
Yeah, 2 major Western networks want to do stories on us. I planned on saying yes.
What? You want to broadcast this place to the world?
That's why I agreed to the inspection. This is a golden opportunity. We can use the media to prove to the world we don't have a nuke. Besides, even if we said no, it would just be delaying the inevitable.
Kaz, our hands are tied now. Start getting the place ready.
Thanks, boss.
Don't get the wrong idea. You set it up so that any more changes of heart will arouse suspicion, that's all.
Zeke stays, but we'll have to move all other AFVs to shore. Any potential troublemakers can go with them for some mandatory R&R. Sound good, boss?
Just do it.
Yeah, so right when I heard that for the first time, I was immediately like, that seems a little fishy. To sum up basically what happened, the IAEA, or the International Atomic Energy Agency, wanted to basically come inspect Mother Base. So they sent them a letter. And then they got the letter, and then they're like, you know what? They don't really have any authority, and basically they don't have any reasoning to come here, so we can turn them down, no problems, no questions asked. Like, it's pretty much just them being like, hey, can we come check this out? And be like, no, I don't think so. We don't really want you poking around in our shit. It's like, so, sent him a letter, said no. Then Huey decided to send him another letter saying, come on over, check out our shit. And which basically screws over everybody. Like, even Big Boss says it, like, now we have to do it. Because if we send another letter saying, no, don't come, then it seems too fishy and they're going to know something's up. So they're going to come anyway. And so now you've got Huey setting all this stuff up. And you've come to find out at the end of Ground Zeroes, essentially, that the IAEA inspection was the Trojan horse by Zoff to get into Mother Base to basically destroy everything. And that's essentially what happens. So when you look at this closely, the only reason that they were even able to get into Mother Base is because of that. Is because of the inspection. Is because Huey called the people back and told them it was okay. So, essentially screwing them over. Now, was it absent-mindedness? Or was he playing for the other side? If you dig deeper into the tapes, you'll find this.
Thanks to your report, a nuclear inspection team's being sent to their base. The scientist was our way in. It all ends soon, exactly as I've planned. All thanks to you.
In Chico's 6th tape, you actually hear Skullface talking to Paz. Basically, the intel that Paz gathered about Mother Base gave them the opening they needed to, the information they needed about them having the nuke to kind of give them a way to get in. Plus, he says blatantly, outright, the scientist was our way in. Now, there are only 2 real scientists on Mother Base, and one of them isn't there right now. There's only Huey and then Strangelove. But Strangelove left a while ago before, I don't know. If you listen to the tapes, they talk about how Strangelove has left the base and she's not there anymore. Now, that could be suspicious behavior, but she didn't really do anything that we know of to help them get in, while Huey's contribution is outright. Like, if it weren't for him, this wouldn't have happened. No questions asked. We know that you screwed the pooch, Huey. Then I want to play you another clip.
Cypher found out that Zeke was complete. He must have someone inside Mother Base besides me, spinning his tightly wound web of control, leaving no room for individual will. Typical. When they found out Zeke was complete, I was ordered to execute the operation immediately. And soon, all I have built here will end. And if Cypher has another agent among them, if he finds out I tried to sabotage Zeke, this place will no longer be my heaven. Then it is settled. I make my move now.
In Paz's 10th diary entry, we find out that she suspects there is another spy in Mother Base because Cypher finds out that Zeke has been completed. And that's just more evidence going into that there has to be somebody there. Skullface, who was working with Cypher, his allegiances are kind of skewed at the moment, but he was essentially working with Cypher or whatever, but saying the scientist was the way in. I think the fact that Huey is a mole will come into play later on in the game in Phantom Pain, because you see that scene where Ocelot is torturing Huey, but he's also torturing Quiet under the command of Kaz, which I'm assuming at that point they've realized that they have a mole in their organization and they're trying to figure out who it is. And that may very well be what's going on in that scene and kind of explain it. I don't know why Quiet would be there unless Quiet is Chico, but that's another theory for another time. But basically, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Huey is a betrayer. Given all that evidence and pretty much Skullface saying it outright that the scientist was our way in, pretty much puts the nail in the coffin. So yeah, Huey screwed over everybody. And as Kaz would say, he played us like a damn fiddle. I gotta say though, that seems pretty graphic. I'll probably talk about that more later on, but this one's definitely got the harshest tone of any of the Metal Gears that I've played. But I digress. Back to the actual information. So given all the evidence, we know that Huey's a betrayer, but the biggest question is why? We still don't really know why. So Cypher had another spy in Mother Base. That spy is presumably Huey Emmerich. So was he always a Cypher agent? Or do they have some sort of leverage against him? Initially I thought that since Dr. Strangelove's disappearance from Mother Base, or she left, and Huey's affection toward her, perhaps Cypher had taken her prisoner and was like, do what we say or we'll kill her. And then Huey was like, I have no choice. Oh my god, I hope this woman doesn't get hurt because of me, because I'm in love with her, and I hope I don't pass this on to my son and everything happens to him. But yeah, I don't know, because it seems like it's ingrained it's a little deeper than, it seems like he's been with Cypher for a long time. Plus, if you listen to Paz's 5th diary entry, you find out that Dr. Strangelove is a huge lesbian. But yeah, and yeah, Paz's tapes, some of them are kind of like Paz's tape number 5. Yeah, that's a listen for you. But yeah, it's just an odd question, because it seems like he's been with Cypher for a while. It doesn't seem that he just, given all the information together, it seems like he's an established Cypher spy. Like he said, the scientist was our way in. Paz mentions that there's another spy while she's there before she even steals Zeke. So them having any leverage against Huey doesn't seem possible. And then, yeah, so that initial one was kind of blown out. I don't know. I guess Huey's Cypher. I'm not seeing any leverage that they could have against him. I mean, not saying that there isn't any. I mean, he hasn't had a son yet. Hal wasn't born until 1980, and he obviously hasn't met whoever's his baby mama yet, because he's into it with Strangelove, and she's into a different kind of love. So yeah, Huey just seems to be playing Cypher. Who knows? I also find it weird that during the tapes they refer to Cypher not as an organization, but Cypher as the person Zero. It's weird. I don't know, because Cypher, you always hear Cypher before, and it sounded like they're referring to it as the organization, but now they're saying it like it's the person. I don't know. That's probably more digging required there. Another theory for another time. Anyway, now I think that the fact that Huey is a betrayer works really well with the storyline. Let me explain why. Not so much like the story itself, but like the story as a whole, like all the games, and kind of connecting them all together and doing all that. So, because Hal, Huey's son, later starts working with Solid Snake, Big Boss's clone, son, whatever, but at no point do either of them ever make that connection. At no point does Hal turn to Solid Snake and say, hey, this is kind of weird because my dad used to work with your dad back in the day. At no point does he ever mention this. But he does know things about his father. He knows that his father worked on the Manhattan Project. Was his father present throughout his life? I don't know. How much does he really know about his father? Don't know. This would be a great way to explain the fact that connection is never made in later games. if Huey betrayed Big Boss and was or taken out or banished or whatever, then that obviously that wouldn't be something that Huey would want to tell his son about or be remembered for. Like, hey, I used to work with Big Boss and I screwed him over. Or even if Hal knew about that, then Hal probably wouldn't bring it up to Solid Snake. He wouldn't be like, hey, my dad used to work with your dad and he betrayed him. Isn't that weird? Like anything like that. So with this storyline, it really would explain why it's never mentioned in later games. Even though I don't think that they actually had planned for Huey to, like, I don't think they planned out Huey before they did Hal and all the connections and stuff because of the timing of the games and everything. So, like, I don't think Kojima had everything planned out at the beginning. I mean, he probably had some of the big stuff gone, but you understand what I'm saying. Basically, this would give them a way to explain a plot hole. Fill it in. Because that's one thing that people talk about, like, how come nobody's ever mentioned that they don't know each other? Like, that seems like a big thing. But yeah, that would explain that. So yeah, that's my theory about Huey being the betrayer. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, Metal Gear Solid related or not Metal Gear Solid related, go ahead and leave a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe and there'll be more videos. I'm also going to be posting the audio from the tapes that I've collected, like all the tapes. So, if you're a theorist out there and you want some information to delve into, I'm going to give you some. And pretty much, yeah, that's all I got to say. Talk to you guys later.